Hi to everybody. I'm Silvia Gasperetti. I'm in charge of the Circular Economy Unit of Enel Green Power. And today I would like to talk with you about two concepts. The one is the circular economy and the other one is the energy transition, and how to tackle the energy transition challenges through circular economy approach. I think that most of you know the meaning of circular economy. The circular economy is not a matter of waste recycling, but is something more. So let's refresh our knowledge with this video.
We live in a world with finite materials.
We are throwing an awful lot of electronics,
plastic, food, carpets,
clothing
away. It's a waste of precious materials.
If we could build an economy that would use things rather than use them up, we could build a future that really could work in the long term.
You design the product in a way that
Can be taken apart once the consumer has finished using them.
you remanufacture it and give it out again. You can reduce your production costs hugely if applied correctly.
Instead of garments ending up in landfill,
companies can repurpose it, reuse it, making profit out of their waste.
We take some resources from nature and bring it back in the form of nutrients.
It's very much a natural cycle.
We use 70% less water than conventional agricultural methods.
Our packaging is not a waste, it's something that you can consume and eat.
We redesign everyday products to make them fully recyclable.
We farm as close to nature as is possible.
The H&M Group has set ambitious targets to use 100% sustainably sourced materials.
There is a lot of conversation about not buying clothes, but different models where you can rent clothing.
We develop fully modular headphones that we offer on a subscription basis.
The circular economy itself is inevitable, in my view.
it's not one fix. It's about the entire system being redesigned.
This is, to me, the only way to fight climate change, to fight pollution, to fight waste.
This is a business model that stacks up.
Global companies cannot survive in the future without transitioning towards a circular economy. That is a really exciting future.
Okay, so let's summarize what circular economy means. Circular economy means design out of waste and pollution, means keep resources in use for as long as possible, minimize residual waste, recover and regenerate products, materials, and resources. If we put in place all these activity and initiative, we can reach the main goal of circular economy, that is decoupling the growth from the resource consumption. Some experts have been evaluated that the value underpinned to circular economy is about 4.5 trillion of dollars. So let's go to the other concept, the energy transition. Energy transition is a shift from fossil fuel energy production to a renewable energy production. And it's linked to the climate change. It doesn't change too much either. Media talks or not about climate change. The phenomenon remains, it exists. And it is something is happening now and something that we are experiencing now. But climate change is not the only emergency of the world, of the global world. There are several others, like the pollution, like the resources consumption and the shortage, but also social emergency. As I said before, the energy transition can, since it is the transition from the fossil fuel energy production to renewable energy production, can help us to tackle the climate change. And the video shows how society, companies, and also all of you can contribute to these battles.
Climate change. It's real, it's serious, and it's up to us to solve it. In the last 2 decades, we've experienced 14 of the hottest 15 years on record. By 2050, drought and chronic water shortages could impact 1 billion people, while millions more will be at risk from coastal flooding. It can seem overwhelming, but there's reason for hope. If we embrace solar and wind power to their full potential, we can cut the world's yearly carbon emissions by 1/3. Already, Germany generates 27% of its electricity from renewables, with a goal of 80% by 2050. Denmark has shown it can produce more wind energy than it can use, and England is building the world's biggest offshore wind farm. Communities large and small are taking steps. A new public building in Mexico City has an exterior that breaks down air pollutants, erasing the effects of 1,000 cars each day. Paris installed street tiles that harvest energy from foot traffic. Other cities are paving streets with smog-eating concrete and sidewalks with recycled materials. Individuals can make a difference too, through the choices we make every day. If every American driver drove 10 miles less each week, it could eliminate more than 100 billion pounds of carbon from the air each year. New innovations are making important strides possible, and more are on the way, but we can't wait. Reimagining our world's energy future will take a shared sense of urgency from countries, companies, cities, and all of us. Working together, real change is possible. Learn more at natgeo.com/climate.
So the population is growing, the consumption is rising, the environmental degradation is running. Consequently, the current global system is unstable and urgent action is needed. We need to reformulate the way we produce and consume, and the circular economy can help us in doing this. The transition from fossil fuel to renewables will not only concern energy generation, but it will affect the global society and the economy as a whole. And as Enel Global Green Power, we want to be the leader of a fair energy transition. But what does it mean, a fair transition? It means to produce not only green energy, but a sustainable energy. Through the passing from the coal to renewables, in order bringing socio-economic and environmental benefits, creating value for all our value chains, including our suppliers and our clients, and leveraging on circular economy. Which are the pillars on which the circular economy is based? Are 5. The first one is related to the circular inputs, trying to increment the use of renewables energy, renewables materials, reusing materials, recyclable and recycled materials. The second one is the product life extension, extending the useful life of a component of a material through the design to the maintenance and the repair. The third one is the sharing platform, increase the use rate of a component through share, use, access, or ownership. The fourth one is the product as a service. Try to sell to clients a service instead of a product. And the last one, but not the least, is a new life cycle. So trying to recover value from all the streams in order to maintain value through process like upcycling, reusing, and recycling. As I said before, as Enel Green Power, we are spreading all the circular economy process and criteria along all our value chain, starting from how we are buying the products in a sustainable way, and how we can do it. We can do it through the supplier selection related to some topics like integrity, health and safety, environment, human rights. To the suppliers' engagement through incentive rewarding mechanism. In order also through the measuring the performance of our suppliers and co-innovate with them through the circular by design process in order to produce more sustainable equipments and more circular equipments. Then we are achieving our goal to generate sustainable energy, introducing in all the value chain, starting from the idea of the plant, the design of the plant, the construction, the operation, and when it arrives at its end of life, the repurposing or dismantling in a sustainable way, including circular economy initiatives. One example is the sustainable construction site, is a pillars of our business line, in where all the sustainable and circular one initiatives are implemented during the construction of the site. And here are reported some examples like reuse of excavated soil or recycling of materials coming from the packagings or the construction of our plant, recycle of water, and so on. I would like to show you a very short video that can explain you the concept behind the sustainable construction site.
Sustainable development enables us to meet the needs of the present generation without harming those of future generations. Every time we build a new power plant, we start by listening to everyone who's involved in the project. The main stakeholders, employees, local communities, and institutions. Sustainability begins with SICA, an analysis of the social, economic, and environmental context. And this provides the basis for the selection of sustainable actions. We build greenhouses for the plants that have been removed from the construction site. We use solar panels instead of diesel generators and provide efficient energy solutions for public spaces. We train and hire people from local communities. We support the creation and improvement of small and medium enterprises. We use electric vehicles to reduce air pollution. We recycle and reuse material from the construction site. We reuse wastewater. These sustainable actions bring many benefits. For example, in 1 month for one site, 35 cubic meters of water were reused. That's the equivalent of 70,000 water bottles. 2,600 liters of diesel were saved. That's the equivalent of 350 fish bowls. 117 tons of waste were recycled. That's the equivalent of the weight of 25 elephants. And in some projects, we trained and then hired more than 1,000 people. Building a new power plant means building trust. A sustainable construction site creates shared value for the company, local communities, and the surrounding area.
When the plant is constructing, we start to operate it in a sustainable way. These pillars start in 2017 with around 40 initiatives, sustainable initiatives. Up to date, we reach around 20,000 of initiatives. Some of these, for example, are the substitution of mechanical cleaning system for the solar panel in order to not use water, especially in those places where water is stress water geography. Please, I would like to also show a short video related to the sustainable plant.
Sustainable development that meets the needs of the present generation without harming those of future generations. Question: what do the following have in common? Bees, falcons, beer, vegetables, a school, thousands of trees, and a mountain bike. The answer is our renewable energy, which is produced by the sustainable power plant model. Thanks to a combination of operational efficiency and the circular economy, which keeps environmental impact to a minimum and creates shared value for communities. The Aurora Solar Park in the United States provides an enormous habitat for bees and other pollinators. Biodiversity is also preserved at Cornatel in Spain and at Moldova Noa in Romania, where bats and falcons are protected species. At Kafireas in Greece, a mountain bike track and an archaeological tourism trail both pass through the wind farm. At Fortuna in Panama, families are trained and helped in growing vegetables, which they can either eat or sell. At Lardarello in Italy, the geothermal heat is shared with local companies who use it for the production of beer and other products. Our power plants are conceived in collaboration with communities and stakeholders so that they can blend in with the local area, support sustainable development, and be used and enjoyed by people every day.
So very nice example of how it's possible to operate a plant in a sustainable way. Now I would like to go in detail to give you a deep dive related some technologies that are the main actors of the energy transition. The first one is the wind. If we are looking at wind turbines, it is made mainly of metals that are easy to recycle. So more than the 80%, so between 80 and 90% of the wind turbines is made of material that is possible to recycle. The only part that has less recyclable percentage are the wind blades, because they are made of composite materials, so made by resin and glass fibers reinforced. So it's not easy to recycle. But as a AGP, we are looking to identify solutions that can recycle also these materials to produce a secondary material that could be used in different sectors like building construction, thermoacoustic insulation, road construction, also internal design, internal furniture, but also reuse this part of the wind turbines without any process. For example, like the use of some part of the wind turbines to build up a playground in Netherlands, or use the wind blades for pedestrian bridge, like in Poland, or like a bike shed in Denmark, but also use these wind blades like pole for the energy transmission. The other main technology is the solar one. The solar, respect to the wind, is it could be younger than the wind, and our solar plant are obviously younger than the wind ones. But we are working also on solar in order to foster the circularity of this technology, leveraging on reuse, recycling, and new design. For sake of clarity, a solar panel up to now is recyclable at 80-85% in weight. The main materials that is possible to recycle are glass and aluminium. There are still 15% of percentage that are made mainly of noble materials, precious materials like silver, gallium, indium, and silicon at high purity. We are engaged in a European project with other European partners in order to demonstrate an innovative recycling solution of PV panels, so solar panels, in order to develop the innovative technologies to recover critical and precious materials. But also we are working to some initiative related to the reuse or the second life of a PV panel, because most of the time when the PV panels are not more suitable for industrial application, could have a value also for less energy intensive application like public lighting or recharging electrical vehicle system. So we are understanding if it is feasible, so reuse this second life panel when they have reached their first life, and try to identify a protocol in order to spread also this initiative. Regarding solar, we are also working on use in a better way, in a higher way, the soil where the solar panel are constructed in a multi-purpose land use. Integrating the energy production with the agriculture ones, like grazing or like flower for pollinators, or maybe cultivating, for example, chili peppers. These projects are called agri-photovoltaic and can maintain the wildlife habitat and biodiversity, and is a collaborative multi-stakeholder approach. Another technology that is very important for the energy transition are the batteries, because the batteries can help us to storage energy when it is produced and then relieve energy when it is needed. In these last months, we heard a lot about electrical vehicles and the main challenge of batteries end of life. In EGP, there is a project. This is one, is Melilla Battery Energy Storage System. The main of the project is to use electrical vehicle batteries that are not more suitable for electrical vehicle, but that still have a value for stationary storage in our power plant in Melilla, in Spain, and we are testing to understand if it is possible to use these batteries in order to storage and to integrate these batteries in a power plant. We are also working on identifying solutions that can help us to recycle the batteries and the materials, precious materials that are inside the battery. But we are also looking for at new technologies, new storage technologies, alternative to the batteries. For example, the gravitational energy storage system, in which there are some blocks that can be put up and down, and we are also testing if it is possible to produce this kind of blocks starting from recycling material. Why not starting from the recycling of wind blades? But for this kind of transition, is it possible to do everything alone? Obviously, no. So why we need to engage all the renewable sectors into a global alliance. At September of 2021, we launched this global alliance for sustainable energy, which is a global independent alliance, can be useful platform to speak with one voice and provide support for the entire sector, in which the partners are clients, utility suppliers, energy association, final customer, technical partners, with the goal to identify new standards and KPIs and metrics in order to define new design, business model, and end-of-life management of the asset, to set sustainability target according to ESG criteria, and to disseminate and activate collaboration framework between the partners and also other partners. So this is my speech, my presentation. I thank you for your attention, and I'm very glad to answer to your questions. If you have any. Okay. So, batteries seems to be a critical problem in sustainable energy. Will it ever be possible to stop mining resources to produce battery and start recycling existing ones? Yes, it is possible. As Enel, we are working to a pilot in Spain in order to build up a pilot at industrial scale for recycling batteries and produce secondary materials, precious materials like cobalt or lithium that could be used in the could be used by batteries suppliers, manufacturers, in order to produce new batteries. Obviously, it still needs some innovation activity, some test, but it's very promising. Does Enel work with the nuclear power? Do you consider it? Several countries investing on that. Right now, we are not working in the nuclear power. Several countries are investing on that, but several others are not investing, so are disinvesting on that. So obviously, we are looking for also at nuclear to understand better which are the evolution of on the market, but right now we are not we are not managing, we are not have nuclear power. Have you thought any way to give new life to the building, power centrals you are decommissioning? Okay, yes, obviously we have a huge commitment in increasing our renewable energy and decommissioning our coal power plant. For each coal power plant that we are dismantling and dismissing, there is a dedicated project, repurposing project, in order also to repurpose the site of the thermal power plant, not only in terms of energy, but also to reuse as much as possible to rebuild a new power plant, a renewable power plant, but also if there are any industrial or commercial opportunities to also to share with the community nearby, all these solutions are taking in consideration. Obviously depends site by site, the solution depending by the site. So thanks for your attention. If you have any other question, please don't hesitate to contact me by mail. My mail is silvia.gasperetti@enel.com. And have a nice evening and have a nice day. Bye.